Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel for a little kind of off the bat video really. My review of The Witchfinders is on the way, it's coming a bit later this week, but I thought I'd just make a quick little video discussion-y type thing, not scripted, because I've not done this kind of thing in a while and there's been a bit of news about the New Year's Day special and it's miserable weather outside, and also I've got a new pop filter that I want to test out for my microphone which should make the p sounds a little bit less aggressive, really. You may have noticed that in previous videos, I apologise for that, but that should be changed now. So the news in question that I wanted to just talk about quickly is the Doctor's new scarf. There's been a new image released from the New Year's Day special, kind of via Radio Times and the Christmas TV listing magazines, because they start doing Christmas stuff round about now, last week in November. And yeah, it's got Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor, and she's wearing a scarf, and that's just brilliant. Very evocative of the 4th Doctor, obviously. It's a great scarf, very bright kind of rainbow colours. Not much else to say about the scarf itself, but just, yeah, it looks great on her, it's a great accessory, and it's great the Doctor is wearing a scarf again. I just think it's brilliant. And also on the subject of the New Year's Day special itself, because I've not talked about that on this channel so far, the move from Christmas to New Year's Day. It was rumoured for a bit around the start of this month, and then around about 1 or 2 weeks ago it was actually confirmed. And what do I think of this change? You know, it's a bit of both sides. I can see both sides on this one. You know, it's going to be bittersweet to not have Doctor Who again on Christmas Day, because for the past, however many years, 13 I think it is, we've had all these specials. I mean, I joined the show, I became a fan of the show from 2008, so basically for the past 10 years, Doctor Who has been on Christmas Day, ever since I became a fan. So that's always been there as a kind of tradition. So to not have that, you know, it's bittersweet, I guess, and Doctor Who has always been such a big part of Christmas Day, you know, from my childhood and into now as well. So yeah, I don't know. It's always just been there, hasn't it? On Christmas Day, or afternoon or evening or whatever, you just sit down and watch Doctor Who around about 5 or 6 o'clock. So it'll be weird. It'll be very strange to not do that this year. But having said that, you know, it's been moved forward by 1 week, so it's not the end of the world. We're still getting a special, and it's a New Year's Day special, okay? I mean, New Year's not quite as big as Christmas, perhaps, I guess, but at the same time, it's still part of that kind of festive season. As I say, it's just 1 week later, so it's still under that kind of festive bracket, and I think the special will very much serve the same sort of purpose. I think it's set on New Year's Day, and that's actually part of the plot, which is interesting, because I don't know whether they could do that every year. If they continue this as a new tradition, they couldn't really make New Year's Day part of the storyline for 10 years or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how that works in terms of a Doctor Who story. There's also that quote from Stephen Moffat that went around a bit. It's been around loads about mining Christmas for everything, you know, all the kind of the monsters and storylines that you could do. And to a certain extent, yeah, you know, I think the Christmas specials have had their run. You know, they've perhaps got a bit tired. There's not much left to do with them. Not much more you could do, really. We've had Robot Santas, we've had Christmas trees, we've had Santa Claus himself, we've had all sorts of stuff. And towards the end as well, Return of Doctor Mysterio, Husbands of River Song to some extent, even Twice Upon a Time. Christmas isn't a major part of the story. I think, you know, perhaps that kind of Christmas part of it has limited the specials in a way, and perhaps now having a New Year's Day special, if this does become a new tradition, it's slightly less limiting. You know, okay, this one's about New Year's Day itself, but then if we do this again, you know, for 5-10 years, a New Year's Day special could be so much broader. It doesn't have to be Christmas themed. You don't have to have snow or Christmas stuff. It could just be anything. So that's exciting, the possibility, and having less of a limit, less restraint on what the storyline could be if this does continue. Because as well, I think it's really exciting if this does become a new tradition, you know, in the same way that my generation has had the Christmas specials for the past however many years. if this becomes a new thing, then that's exciting for the next generation, and that can be a whole new thing, unique to their generation, to this new era. It's definitely the right time to make the change, I think, with the move from 12 to 13 and Chris Chibnall taking over Doctor Who. And we've had the female Doctor, we've had the shift to the Sunday time slot. Both those have been huge successes, and I'm sure this will be as well. But it's been a year of big changes for Doctor Who, and then I suppose this is just the next one, really. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be a huge success, and I think down the line, if this does continue, it could potentially become a new tradition, which is exciting, and it could potentially offer more possibilities. Episodes that aren't necessarily set on New Year's Day within the story, they're just broadcast on that day. It reminds me of the Sherlock special that they did, The Abominable Bride, which, okay, it was slightly kind of Christmassy, slightly festive, but at the same time, it wasn't a major part of the plot. But having that one-off special slot for New Year's Day, it allowed the writers to do something a little bit different to what happens in the usual seasons. You had the Victorian setting and all that kind of stuff, and it just offered something a bit different, really, a one-off special. And we've kind of had that with the Doctor Who Christmas specials, but as I say, it's perhaps just been a little bit too limiting, and having Christmas in each one has got a bit repetitive, I suppose. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do with this special and future ones if they continue this as a running trend. So what do you think about, firstly, the Doctor's new scarf, and secondly, the move from Christmas Day to New Year, which I know is slightly old news, really, a couple of weeks old, but as I say, I've not done a video about it on the channel, so why not just bring it up now? Post your thoughts in the comments below. I look forward to reading them, and I will see you a bit later this week for my review of The Witchfinders. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now.